I have a challenge for you. Over the next 5 days, I want you all to create a character. Each character is going to be different. It could be fantasy, cyberpunk, steampunk, sci fi horror, whatever it is that you love doing the most. Each day is going to be dedicated to character sketching. These sketches do not have to be extremely beautiful or particularly crazy looking. Instead, I want you all to loosen up, sit up straight, and make sure that whatever you're putting down on your paper, or if you're sketching digitally, whatever you're putting on your canvas, is something that you enjoy doing the process for. A lot of times artists tend to get bogged down in worrying too much about what the outcome is supposed to look like based on what they're seeing in their minds. And what that does is it hinders progress so that you're constantly thinking about perfection. Perfection is just a fancy word for procrastination because people tend to avoid drawing because they know that it needs to be perfect later. So, instead of just letting your sketchbook sit there, think about the characters that you want to put in there. Write the characters down prior to drawing. This is something that I have a lot of mentees and a lot of students do whenever they have a big portfolio project that they need to put in, but there's no real start to it. They don't know where to begin. There's not even any references gathered for the particular project. Speaking of references, after you write down the 5 characters that you want to put in, start collecting reference off of Google, Pinterest, Tumblr, fashion shows, whatever is going to invigorate you and whatever's going to motivate you into sketching. Now, when you look up at this sketch that I'm doing right now, I had the fella on the left already sketched. And then I am basing my full body sketch on that one. The fun thing about this process, and this is something that I want all of you to do also, when you do multiple views of your character, please make sure that you keep it loose so that you get the gesture, the weight distribution of the figure, and overall movement. Now I'm making sure that there's a head tilt for the character standing semi-relaxed, is going to be holding something, and also I'm making sure that all of the lines are so loose that I can continuously think about what could be possible with the character later. All of the lines that you see up near the head, the jacket, the hairline, the mask, everything, it's so suggestive that if 50 people were looking at this right now, or 1,000 or 10,000, 10,000 people would be seeing different character attributes. That's the beautiful thing about thumbnails. The same thing could be said about weapons, characters, creatures, props, environments, anything dealing with design, thumbnailing, for concept art, for movies, all of it. So now what I'm doing is I'm thinking about this character being post-apocalyptic. Who doesn't want to do a post-apocalyptic character, right? We all had that one post-apocalyptic character in our portfolio, for better or for worse, because most of them probably suck. I remember my old designs and they were not good. And as I'm sketching this one and I'm recording it, there's no editing, there's no wondering if I'm going to do a good job or not. All I care about is that I get some ideas out in my head, and I'm dedicating this one day to this particular character. Now, when it comes to what to put into these daily sketch routines so that you can fulfill this 5-day challenge, get a close-up, get a portrait, which is what you see here on the left. Get a full body shot, something with a cool stance. And then what you need to do is think about other views that you would need to put in there to better explain the character. Now, for the sake of recording this video, I am showing you the good start that you can have with this. You got the portrait on the left, and most of the emphasis is on the face and the eyes. When I was drawing this, I immediately was thinking of C-3PO from Star Wars because it kind of reminds me of it, right? And that was totally unplanned. It just, once I started drawing the circular eyes, I'm going, well, I guess I got a cyborg here. So here we go. And now that I have that face on the left, it's helping me dictate what the rest of this page could end up being. Now, some things to consider when you do different views of your character. You need to think about what the viewer would need to see in order to better understand your intentions. And this goes with anything that you're making. For example, weapons, clothing, armor. If there's something unique about a functional feature on the body. This happens a lot in creature design, where maybe the creature has a retractable claw or a triple hinged jaw that can open up and swallow prey 3 times its size. You know, those kinds of things that we need to think about. Now, as far as this character goes, a functional feature would come into play later on, and I would need to do callouts. I would need to do some good listings of features that could be implemented into a game. My mind, coming from a concept artist background, I'm constantly thinking about what would a gamer want this character to be? How cool would this character need to be in order for a gamer to even want to play as it? How cool would this character need to be so a hiring manager would look at this and go, wow, this person's portfolio doesn't suck. I want to turn to the next page. These are all things that you need to think about. By the way, that does happen. So to let you in on what happens behind closed doors whenever you send your portfolio in, you know, hiring managers get hundreds of portfolios per day. And the recruiters for those companies, it's up to them to compile a list of candidates that they feel can rise to the task and complete it as far as the job description goes. Well, it takes about 8 seconds to know if you're good or not. And it also takes about 8 seconds to know if you really want to get to know that character. Because hiring managers think about the games that they are currently making right now. And they wonder if you can fit into that mold. If you're making stuff that doesn't fit into the games that they're making, then you might be good enough to make stuff, but you're not good enough for that particular role. But that's a rabbit hole, and that's another video that I could definitely make. But when it comes to this challenge, just to make sure that you're hitting all of the different views that you think would best describe your character. The thing about sketching ability and sketching quality in your sketchbooks while you're trying to invent stuff is you have to throw perfection out the window. You have to keep these sketches very gestural. Okay, when you're coming up with these characters, make sure that you're hitting different genres. That will definitely help, like I mentioned in the beginning. And then 2, make sure that if you feel like you're not good at human anatomy, look at reference. I can't tell you how many times I will tell students and mentees to look at reference and they do not do it. Now, call it stubbornness, call it lack of will, who knows? We as concept artists, we want to invent everything from our head because we think that's the most noble thing to do. We think that's the most imaginative and the best way to go about it. And I'm here to tell you it is probably one of the worst ways to go about it. Because as you're drawing these characters, you have to pull reference from things that you have seen in the past or things that you have seen from reference. Now, the better references that you have gathered, the better your designs tend to be. Why? Because the imagery that you're pulling off of those reference images is going to mix so much better into creating something unique for a character. We as character designers and creature artists, we want to be as unique as possible Because if you're not unique, you are not going to stand out. And let's just face it, the competition out there is fierce. But hey, there's a flip side to that coin. Let's say you want to be just a good artist. You don't care about selling your work. You don't care about getting a job in the industry in a visual effects studio or a game studio. You just want to be a better character designer. It's fine. My advice to you for that is to go and draw humans from public. If you don't have access to figure drawing classes, let's say you live out in the middle of nowhere and there's no colleges, there's no downtown or anything, you have other options. One, you can learn about figure drawing from photographs. Maybe not as well as you can in real life if you're sitting there at an easel drawing, in figure drawing class, but you at least can learn about proportions. And there's plenty of YouTube channels about anatomy, figure drawing, gesture drawing, etc. And the other thing is, you can draw yourself. Think about the body parts that you're not really sure about how to draw, like hands. Hands is probably one of the most demonic and possessed things that we can think about because it does not leave our mind. We avoid drawing hands more than any other body part. And the funny thing is, we all have hands and we don't draw our own. I mean, we don't study our knuckles, the palms of our hands, the way our tendons move, etc. We can draw our arms. We can practice by drawing portraits. We can get a friend or maybe a family member to take photos of us posing as a game character would pose. There's so many different options that you really have no excuse not to study anatomy, because there's always a form of anatomy out there. So speaking of anatomy here, when it comes to creature design, because I'm talking about creatures and characters because they go hand in hand. When you get better at one, you tend to learn about the other and vice versa. There are so many different resources for animal anatomy. You could just go on Google and just type in animal anatomy and you will get a plethora of skulls, bones, tendons, muscles, organs, all of it. Draw it. Just draw it. So over the next 5 days, I want you to sketch a character that you've been dying to sketch. I want you to name this character. And I want you to think about where the character's from, who it is, what it is, and what that character's special ability is. And I want you to write this down on the page that you're sketching. This is your own personal diary. This is your collection of character and creature work. And I want you to document your progress. I'm saying 5 days because it's basically getting your feet wet. Then you can make it 10 days. You could even go back into my videos and please check out the links in the description below. One of the links is to my video, the 500 creature challenge. Okay, you draw 500 creature thumbnails, spread it out however much time it takes. Check out the other links in the description too. For example, our Creature Design Workshop Discord, which is not dedicated fully to creatures. And then the other links, such as my Creature Design for Film and Games course that you can sign up for. Thanks everybody for listening, and I hope this challenge is fun for you. Please comment below and let me know how it's going. I'll see y'all later. Peace.